You have seen the Thailand highlights 1,000 times. But there is another tropical trip people are booking right now. It is lush, it is wild, it is deeply cultural, and it still feels like you discovered it first. This is Sri Lanka, and if you want a beach, a jungle, a tea country sunrise, and a safari, you can do it on one island without blowing your budget. In this guide, I will show you exactly how to plan it, what it costs, where to go, and how to build the kind of trip that feels expensive while staying surprisingly affordable. Before we jump in, here is the big idea. Sri Lanka is a choose-your-own-adventure. You can do slow beach days. You can do misty mountains. You can do ancient cities. You can do wildlife. And you can move between all of it with scenic trains and simple guest houses. If you are searching Sri Lanka budget travel, you are in the right place. If you are trying to compare Sri Lanka travel costs with your past trips, I will make that clear. If you are building a Sri Lanka itinerary 10 days, I will give you a route that actually works. And if you want the iconic ride, the Kandy to Ella train is one of the best travel days you will have anywhere. Imagine that you wake up in the hill country to cool air and the smell of tea leaves. By lunch, you are watching waterfalls spill down a green cliff. By sunset, you are on a palm-lined beach eating fresh curry for the price of a coffee back home. And tomorrow you might be watching elephants cross a dusty road in a national park. First, we will talk about why Sri Lanka is the budget tropical alternative to Thailand right now. Then we will build a simple trip framework around weather, regions, and pacing. Then we will walk through a practical route with real-world costs and the experiences that make Sri Lanka feel unforgettable. Why everyone is choosing Sri Lanka instead of Thailand. Thailand is still incredible. But the reality is that peak season Thailand has become crowded and expensive in the places most first-time visitors want to go. In Sri Lanka, you can still get that tropical magic, but with more space, more variety, and often a lower daily spend. Some categories like transportation and accommodation can be significantly cheaper depending on your travel style. That means your money stretches further. And when your money stretches further, you can slow down. You can say yes to a sunrise hike. You can book the nicer room with the balcony. You can add the safari day. You can order dessert. That is what a budget trip should feel like. Let's talk numbers in plain language. If you travel with a budget mindset, local meals, trains and buses, simple guest houses, you can often land in the range of about $25 to $40 a day for core costs, not including flights. If you want mid-range comfort, private rooms, a mix of tuk-tuks and trains, some paid attractions, you might be closer to $50 to $90 a day. Those ranges are a big reason Sri Lanka budget travel has become such a popular search phrase lately. Now here is the first big planning key. Sri Lanka does not have one single perfect season. Different coasts are best at different times. The south and west coasts are generally best from late November or December through March or April. The east coast is generally best from May through September. And the hill country is cooler year-round with a few drier windows that make hiking easier. That is why best time to visit Sri Lanka is not one answer, it depends on your route. So how do you win? You pick one coast as your beach focus. You add the hill country for the wow factor. You add the cultural triangle for the story. And you finish with a little soft luxury, even if you are traveling on a budget. The route that feels expensive without being expensive. Here is the exact 10-day Sri Lanka itinerary that I recommend for first-timers who want beaches, tea country, and the most iconic highlights. You can reverse it based on weather, but the flow stays the same. This Sri Lanka itinerary is designed to keep travel days short and experiences deep. 2 nights Colombo or Negombo as a soft landing, 2 nights in the cultural triangle for Sigiriya and nearby temples, 2 nights in Kandy for culture and the train departure, 2 nights in Ella for views, hikes, and waterfalls, 2 nights on the south coast for beach and a final exhale. You might be thinking, is 10 days enough? It is enough to feel the diversity. But the secret is pacing. Sri Lanka is small, but roads can be slow. So do fewer bases. Stay 2 nights minimum. and let the days breathe. Now let's build the trip, stop by stop. Stop 1. Colombo or Negombo. Most international flights land near Colombo. If you land late, choose Negombo because it is close to the airport and easy for your first night. Your goal here is not to see everything. Your goal is to adjust, eat something warm, and sleep. Costs. A clean guest house or simple hotel can be around $20 to $50 a night depending on season. A taxi from the airport to Negombo can vary, but it is typically a manageable first expense. Local meals, think rice and curry, kotu, fresh fruit, can be a few dollars each. This is the moment you realize Sri Lanka travel costs feel refreshingly grounded. If this is already helping, drop a comment that says Sri Lanka. It tells me you want more budget tropical trips that actually feel doable. Stop 2. The cultural triangle. This is where Sri Lanka begins to feel ancient. Your base can be Sigiriya, Habarana, or Dambulla. And the headline experience is Sigiriya Rock. Sigiriya Rock is the headline for good reason. It rises out of the jungle like something from a myth. You climb stairways cut into stone. You pass frescoes and gardens. And when you reach the top, the view makes the whole island feel infinite. If you are planning the cultural triangle, set an early alarm. Go at sunrise for cooler air and fewer crowds. Bring water. Wear good shoes. And pace yourself. Sigiriya Rock is not a casual walk. It is a memory you earn. What else to do here? Consider a temple cave complex in Dambulla. Consider a day trip to Polonnaruwa if you love ruins and quiet roads. And if you want a wildlife moment, some travelers add Minaraya depending on season. Costs. Entry fees for major cultural sites can be meaningful. You might spend $10 to $30 per site depending on where you go. But you can balance that with cheap meals and budget stays. A guest house here can be $20 to $60 a night. You can hire a tuk-tuk for a half day or share costs with other travelers. Overall, the cultural triangle is where you see how to spend wisely, then splurge intentionally. That is the art of Sri Lanka budget travel. Stop 3. Kandy. Kandy is the bridge between ancient Sri Lanka and the misty hills. It is busy, but it has soul. This is where you can visit the Temple of the Tooth. This is where you can walk by the lake in the evening. And this is where you set up for one of the most famous train rides in the world. Let's talk about the Kandy to Ella train. This ride is not just transport, it is an experience. Tea plantations roll past the windows, clouds catch on the mountains, villages appear and disappear, and every curve feels like a postcard. Practical tips. Book a reserved seat if you can, especially in peak season. If you cannot, second class can still be beautiful. Just arrive early. Bring snacks and water. And be patient. Delays are normal. But in Sri Lanka, delays often become part of the charm. Costs. Train tickets are generally inexpensive compared to the experience. Even reserved classes are often accessible for most budgets. This is why the phrase Kandy to Ella train shows up everywhere in Sri Lanka travel planning. Stop 4. Ella. Sri Lanka is the moment the trip turns cinematic. It is cooler up here. The air feels lighter. The hills stack into the distance like waves. And you start to understand why people fall in love with this island. What to do? Watch sunrise from a viewpoint. Hike to Little Adams Peak. Find a waterfall and sit with it for a while. Visit the famous 9 Arches Bridge when a train passes if timing works. And spend an afternoon doing nothing but watching clouds drift over tea fields. Ella is also where you can stay in a place that feels like luxury, without paying luxury prices. A guest house with a view might be $30 to $80 a night. A boutique stay might be more, but still often less than comparable mountain destinations elsewhere. Food is easy. Cafes serve smoothie bowls, curry spreads, and good coffee. And your daily spend still stays reasonable. That is the quiet power of Sri Lanka travel costs when you plan with intention. Stop 5. The South Coast. Now we shift into beach mode. If you are traveling between December and March, the South and West coasts are often your best bet for calm seas and sunny days. This is the coastline most people imagine when they think tropical Sri Lanka. Choose your beach town based on your vibe. If you want relaxed beach cafes and soft waves, Weligama can work. If you want a prettier bay and a little more charm, you might choose Mirissa. If you want history and photos, you go to Galle. Let's start with Galle Fort. Galle Fort is a living museum by the sea. You walk old ramparts at golden hour. You find boutiques, cafes, and quiet courtyards. And you feel the blend of Sri Lankan and colonial history in the architecture. If you only have one evening, do this. Arrive before sunset. Walk the walls. Then choose a simple dinner spot and let the night slow down. Galle Fort is also a great base for day trips to beaches nearby. Now Mirissa whale watching. This is one of the most searched experiences on the south coast. And it is easy to see why. On the right day you might spot blue whales and dolphins. The best window is often during the main south coast season. Tour quality varies, so choose operators with strong reviews and responsible practices. Whale tours have a cost, and it can be one of your bigger activity spends. But if you compare it to similar wildlife experiences elsewhere, it can still feel worth it. This is where a budget trip becomes a bucket list trip. This is also why Mirissa whale watching is a phrase people type in again and again. Now the bigger budget point. The south coast can be more expensive than inland areas, especially in peak season. So pick your splurge. Maybe you splurge on one beachfront night, then balance it with a guest house the next 2 nights. That is how you keep Sri Lanka budget travel realistic. Optional add-on: surf culture. If you want a surf-focused trip, you can also build your whole beach portion around the East Coast. That is where Arugam Bay surfing comes in. Arugam Bay is famous for waves, laid-back hostels, and a backpacker energy. But it is seasonal. It is best when the East Coast is in season, often May through September. So if you want Arugam Bay surfing, you plan your trip around that coast's weather. Again, best time to visit Sri Lanka depends on which coastline you are choosing. How to budget Sri Lanka like a pro. Let's talk about what actually moves your budget up or down. Accommodation. Guest houses and homestays keep costs low and experiences high. Look for places with breakfast included. Ask about air conditioning if you need it. And remember that location matters more than fancy amenities. If you are walking distance to what you want, you save money and time. Food. Eat local often. Rice and curry is the classic. Kotu is filling. Fresh fruit is everywhere. And you can still treat yourself to cafes in Ella or the south coast without breaking the bank. This is a big reason Sri Lanka travel costs can stay friendly even for comfort travelers. Transport. Trains are your best friend. They are scenic. They are cheap. They connect key routes. Tuk-tuks are great for short distances. Just agree on a price or use a meter where available. Private drivers are a splurge, but they can save time for families or short trips. Mix and match based on your priorities. Entrance fees and tours. This is where costs can spike. So choose the experiences that matter most to you. For many travelers, that is Sigiriya Rock, a safari, and one standout tour like Mirissa whale watching. Everything else can be lower cost: beaches, hikes, viewpoints, markets, and slow evenings. Season. Prices rise in peak windows. If you can travel in shoulder months, you get better deals and fewer crowds. That is another reason people search best time to visit Sri Lanka, because timing can change both experience and cost. The Thailand comparison that actually matters. This is not about saying one place is better. It is about choosing what fits your current travel mood. If you want easy island hopping with a massive tourist infrastructure, Thailand still wins in many ways. If you want a single island with high variety, fewer crowds, and a sense of discovery, Sri Lanka can feel like the smarter move right now. Sri Lanka also offers that mix of beaches, culture, and wildlife in short distances, which is rare. And if you are someone who loves that feeling of finding a destination before it becomes a cliché, Sri Lanka is having that moment. That is why people are sharing it as the budget tropical trip everyone's booking instead of Thailand. Quick question. If you had to pick one experience, would you choose the Kandy to Ella train, Sigiriya Rock, or a beach week on the south coast? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. A simple plug-and-play budget breakdown for 10 days. Here is a realistic example for 2 people. Mid-range comfort, trains plus a few tuk-tuk rides, and 1 or 2 private transfers. Plan roughly $400 to $800 for stays. Plan roughly $200 to $400 for food. Plan roughly $200 to $400 for transport. Plan roughly $200 to $500 for activities. Total estimate, roughly $1,000 to $2,100 for 2 people, not including flights. You can go lower with stricter budgeting. You can go higher with boutique hotels. But the point is this: Sri Lanka travel costs can deliver a premium feeling trip for a fraction of what many travelers assume. How to make Sri Lanka feel magical, not rushed. Here are the small choices that make a big difference. Wake up early. Heat and crowds build fast. Sunrise is calmer. The light is better. The experiences feel more private. Stay 2 nights minimum. Packing every day is the fastest way to turn paradise into a checklist. Give your body time to settle in each place. Use the train whenever you can, especially the Kandy to Ella train. Even if it is slower, it is part of the story, not just a transfer. Do one splurge experience. Make it meaningful. For many people, that is Mirissa whale watching. For others, it is a boutique stay in Ella Sri Lanka. For others, it is a private driver for 1 day to make logistics easier. Keep your route weather smart. South and West coasts in their season. East Coast in its season. And if you're unsure, lean into the inner monsoon shoulder windows for flexibility. This is the practical answer behind a best time to visit Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is proof that tropical travel does not need to be expensive to feel extraordinary. In 10 days, you can climb Sigiriya Rock, ride the Kandy to Ella train, breathe in the hills of Ella Sri Lanka, walk the ramparts of Galle Fort, and if you time it right, you can wake up early for Mirissa whale watching. And if you plan around the seasons, you can even build a surf version of the trip around Arugam Bay surfing. If you want the clean, simple plan, save this Sri Lanka 10-day itinerary and adjust the beach coast based on the month you are traveling. Now I want to know, what part of Sri Lanka would you book first? So if you enjoyed this journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can join us for more travel tips and experiences that uncover the most beautiful places in the world. And if you like this video, we know that you will love these recommended videos. Keep your bags ready, your heart open, and let the journey lead you to your next adventure.